Hello everyone, welcome. It's Jebro back again with another build for Guild Wars 2, and it's gonna be the Core Guardian, and this is gonna be for the 2v2 arena specifically. Now you can maybe play this in 5v5 if you want to. It's Hammer, it's still fun, I still play it from time to time. There's a big difference in this build between the one you may play anyway, or with Greatsword and whatnot. And I'm just gonna go through the build. You can compare it to whatever the hell you want, basically. So a little bit of info for you guys, and this is something that you might enjoy, you might not enjoy. The videos are going to be out on YouTube either way. What I'm going to do is in future, we're going to have build videos coming out. Now, these are coming thick and fast. Every other day or so. I'm trying to plan these at the moment. But if you want to look at the build videos a day or so earlier, I'm actually going to release them on my Patreon channel, and it's at the $5 tier, which you can get access to, as well as like an update video I do a month, and some other bits and bobs. But primarily, you'll be getting access early compared to other people to some build videos and stuff. And if you just want to support me just because you enjoy watching these videos in the first place, then maybe that's something you would like to support. If not, all good. You'll be able to see them anyway, just a couple of days later. Basically, that's it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this stuff. Chuck a like, hit the bottom right hand corner bell if you want to be alerted on future videos. And yeah, come and join the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JebroUnity. I'm streaming about 5 days a week at the moment when I'm not at school. We have a great time over there. We've got a great Discord community, respectful, we have a laugh. It's PMA to a degree, but not like to the point where you don't swear and like don't have a laugh, do you know what I mean? Alright, anyway, let's go on with the build. Okay, so Core Guardian is something I do like playing. I don't play Firebrand that much. I play a lot of the damage orientated kind of builds, like the core stuff. I like core builds quite a lot in Guild Wars 2. And this build specifically is the hammer. And the hammer is, I had a good gameplay video years ago that got quite a lot of views. So it was just really, really fun, really impactful. And 2v2s, there's a lot less room to move around. You don't need as much like swiftness and stuff like that, unless it's really benefiting your build and other boons and stuff. So there might be a little bit more opportunity to slip something in that you might not use in, might not want to use in 5v5 that you would use in 2v2 just for fun. There's a trait line. I've gone back. This actually used to be a thing a few years ago, and when I say a few years ago, I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Even with like Tage, who used to play on EU, I think I remember. And that is Honor. And this build is called Honor Thy Hammer. I think there was this anyway. I seem to remember it. Other choice, I've Radiance, obviously. But this is going to be Honor Hammer. And here I've got, this is the thing, it's interchangeable. I've tested this a fair bit on stream, so I'm going to put some gameplay on at some point in time. It's going to be soon. But I've gone with Paladin's Amulet because it gives me vitality and toughness, so it helps a little bit against condition damage and that direct damage. And then we've got Rune of Lissa, which is going to be precision, condition duration, boon duration, precision again. And then you get the +5 condition duration, but convert up to 3 conditions into boons after using an elite skill. Now I could just use leadership as well. Few other different options. I've just been changing between a few different ones. Leadership's okay as well, I guess. It gives you boon duration there and converts up to 2 conditions into boons for nearby allies. I get 3 conditions into boons after using an elite skill for just me. So I get an extra condition. It's a bit more selfish. Really? Probably. Depends how much precision you want. Depends how much more selfish you want to be. Okay, it's just kind of a little bit more about that. On Hammer, I've got Intelligence. And then I've got Sigil of Exposure again. This is something which you may want to change. Of course, in your burst chain of Judge's Intervention with Glacial Blow, you won't get that 5 stacks of vulnerability straight away. You'll get it after you've hit. So it really depends what you use. So if you don't go in with, Judge's Intervention with Banish, and then you land your Glacial Blow. Then you'll probably get the 5 stacks. You'll get the 5 stacks of vulnerability before, and that Glacial Blow will hit on those 5 stacks. So it really depends on how you really manage your burst, I guess. I guess in a way I don't track that because it's so damn quick. I could in gameplay, which I could do it slow-mo. Could be quite fun to do that. Then I go for Sword, and I go for Shield. Now, Focus is normally what you take, but Shield is really good in this meta at the moment because there's not much stability. I'm not getting blinded that much. I'm not getting a lot of CC on me that much. So Shield is actually really good for some of these little stairwells and stuff that are in the 2v2 areas, the little ledges where you can knock people off and really like just wreck their momentum just with a shield 5, like a quick bash of shield 5 and a little heal. It's really, really nice. And I've got Sigil of Cleansing on there for obvious reasons, to get rid of condition, and then Energy as well, and you'll see why in a bit. Energy is kind of just almost a standard off Sigil if you not sure what to use anyway, just to get some more, to get some more dodge back, some more endurance on your bar. Then we obviously have Litany of Wrath, which is going to give us ton of healing, and Fury obviously, well, a little bit of healing, and then more healing depending on how much damage you're doing. Judge's Intervention, which is your port, going to give you Fury, which is augmented by the traits and everything else, healing as well. Smite Condition, Fury again, the blue is always augmented by the traits. And then we've got Contemplation of Purity, which removes changes a ton of conditions into boons. It's very good. Then we've got Renewed Focus. Obviously refreshes all of your virtues, so make sure you've spent those before you start using that, even if you spam them during the use of it, to be honest, because you still want to use that. It's still going to benefit you somehow, So that's kind of what I'm running there. And Hammer, obviously. Don't forget things like, Ring of Warding, awesome. That's a good CC as well, as like trying to keep people inside the ring, really, really good. Banish, obviously, really, really good CC knockback. See lots of Embrace. Hammer is good again because there's not that much stability, because there's not much, because there's more control. It's a lot about control in 2v2, and I suspect it's a lot like that in 5v5 as well. I've been spamming 2v2s because I'm just having a ton of fun in there. So there's a lot of control out there at the moment. People are getting upset. They will. Well, it doesn't matter. It's Guild Wars 2 PvP. They're always going to be upset. Anyway, we're going for Honor, Valor, and Virtues. Honor, start there. Gain Vigor when you critically strike. We're critting a lot. We have Paladin's Amulet, and you can see we have a lot of precision. Increased critical chance. Let's go back. Lesser Shield of Absorption. Now this used to be used a lot for rezzing back in the day. Obviously still is, but that res in 2v2 can change the swing of everything. Cooldowns back up. You're back in the fight. Literally this ability is really, really strong in 2v2s. Power rezzing is really, really useful. You even see Necros, core Necros using signets and stuff to res. People have used res utilities for their teammates now in 2v2s, and it's really fun to see that and to play with it. So I went there. That's another reason why I went to Honor. The end of your dodge roll heals nearby allies. I need a tiny little bit of healing, but still, anything helps. Aegis when it blocks. Aegis heals when it blocks an attack. Now you got Aegis on you anyway, and it comes back, and then you can pop Aegis through various abilities like Courage and everything else as well, and you are able to get Aegis from Shield of Judgment there, and you'll be able to get it from various sources. Okay, so there's that choice. Other choices: grant might to nearby allies when you correctly strike. You could use this to gain even more damage, possible. Gain concentration, gain additional concentration while wielding a staff. You don't have that. Okay, so Purity of Body, so it's between those two. Purity of Body, your Virtue of Resolve passive also regenerates endurance. Very useful again, it kind of goes hand in hand with the heal and the dodge and, all that kind of stuff, which is pretty nice. And then Force of Will, gain increased vitality. Healing others is improved based on a percentage of your vitality. And that actually is pretty nice because, you're able to increase that healing, that kind of passive healing you're doing, as well as just any other healing you're able to put out around you. No point in going for Pure Voice. We don't have any shouts. And Writ of Persistence symbols gain increased duration and radius and heal allies. Not really got a million of those, to be fair, so not really worth it. So, you know, this line could be something you change out for Radiance, could be something you change out for something else, should you so wish. But this is working for me, and this is the build I'm playing with. Valor, now this is all fairly standard now. Valorous, defense, gain Aegis when you're struck below the health threshold. Again, Aegis, very, very important, as we've seen elsewhere. Aegis heals when it blocks. Well, it's not very important, it's just a nice extra addition. Meditation, of course, you cure conditions and damage nearby foes, and deal more damage if a condition is cured. So, okay, don't forget, you know, you've got things like Smite Condition, Meditation right there, and lesser Smite Condition when you use a healing skill as well. Pretty nice, okay? Loving it, loving it. Steadfast Courage, gain protection when you block an incoming attack with Aegis. So you're able to get more Aegis. This is why it's important to put Shield of Judgment out when you've got it off cooldown, I feel like, especially if you're not doing damage on you yourself and your ally, because there are times when that happens in this build, especially because you've got a little bit less damage going into Honor. Strength in numbers, nearby allies gain toughness based on the effective level. It's very, very nice to have that, especially like you go into a matchup which is 2v2 and you're like, oh damn, yeah, I needed toughness, which is why you could run Marauder if you want, but I go with Paladin for the increased toughness. And then you got Stalwart Defender, gain toughness when wielding a shield, and shield skills gain recharge. Now there is a decision to make here. It really depends on who you have with you. You could roll with this. I mean, this is 24 seconds. Change it to that. Is it worth it? Almost 5 seconds of time taken away there. That means more. That means more Aegis, more protection as well. Go have a look there. It's going to be down to 16 seconds. Pretty nice. Again, selfish. But this is more of a team thing. So again, is it worth it? 2v2. There's that thought process again. Is it worth it for the other person who's playing with you? What's the class? Are you pugging? You're playing with a mate? Are they quite defensible? Go for this maybe and get your shield cooldowns. Then all depends. Really does. Blocking an attack grants Aegis to nearby allies as well. So there is that. There's some nice little choices actually, I think, in the 2v2s for this straight line specifically. And this is why I really like 2v2, because you can think about this completely differently if you want to. Might Protector, gain might when you block attacks. You're blocking attacks, you've got Aegis and stuff, it's going to happen. Altruistic, obviously a bit more with focus. Altruistic healing, heal yourself when you grant a boon to an ally. I've gotten for meditation skills, obviously, and oh, where's that gone? Meditation skills heal you, grant fury to nearby allies, and gain reduced recharge. That's important because guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 and we have 5, so that's important to have that. Renewed focus, 84 seconds. Let's have a look and see what it is. 105. So it's really, you can't really have this build without that. Virtues, let's go to virtues. Inspired virtue is going to be virtues apply boons to allies when activated, so protection, regen, and might, don't forget. Then we've got Unscathed Contender, so deal increased damage while you have Aegis. Again, we're getting Aegis from various places up here as well. Pretty nice. Well, actually, no, sorry. We're not getting it from up here, but we've got it in the build, and it works in synergy with different areas of the build. My apologies. But we're still getting that. Still getting that Aegis. Not as much as I'd probably like. We could go for retaliatory subconscious as well. When disabled, gain Aegis and protection. It could be pretty nice, but the thing is, if you're not being attacked and you got this Aegis on you, 20%, and you know this is coming back every so often. You know, gain Aegis periodically. I mean, it refreshes every 30 seconds. I mean, every 30 seconds your damage is increased by 20%. It's like, I feel like that never moves almost. I feel like that should be just in there rather than a choice, but hey ho. Virtue of Retribution, so gain retaliation when you have when you activate virtue of when you activate a virtue, sorry, which is pretty nice. And then Glacial Heart, you want to make sure you're using this. This changes your second hammer ability over to What is it called? Becomes Glacial Blow. Chill and damage foes that you disable. So disables include stun, daze, knockback, pull, knockdown, sink, floats, launch, taunt, fear. And yeah, there you go. It changes the actual icon as well, which is pretty nice. Still a blast, don't worry, it's just the extra bits and bobs. And then Power of Virtues deal increased damage for each boon on you, so virtues gain recharge as well. And then you got Indomitable Courage, which gives you stability on your Virtue of Courage usage, which is very, very nice indeed. That's the build, guys. There is more survivability in this. I'm still doing a ton of damage. Hammer problem is that, you know, once you've blown the hammer cooldowns, you're kind of waiting for them to come back if you haven't got kills. But to be fair, if you're playing with like a Necro, you're playing with another damage dealer, you're doing pretty well to CC. You'll be able to CC the hell out of them. You know, you can lock them down potentially with Zealot's Embrace. Then you can grab or jump over to them with while casting Banish, and then get your Judge's Intervention. Now, who doesn't love a little bit of this, you know? Who doesn't love a little bit of that? And then you're able to, you know, pin him down, Glacial Blow, knock him down with you and your ally, just separate him. You know, someone comes in, got nice utility, knock him back with that shield. Then going for the res and stuff. Some classes don't even have hardly any access to stability anymore, so shield bashes off of bodies is really good. Resing as well creates that shield bubble that I just had. So there's some great fun little, it is fun. I'm having a lot of fun with Core Guardian in this. Pull out some nice little clutch plays and maneuvers with the shield at times, and I don't know, it's just nice, you know, when you get that big burst from the hammer sometimes. It's just chef's kiss, man. But you know, okay, anyway, I'm gonna leave you to it. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's gonna be on Patreon, like I said. First of all, if you watch this later and you're like, oh, you know, maybe I want to throw $5 to Jebro, I'll chuck it on Patreon. Helps him out, helps pay my bills, helps pay the rent a bit. And it is muchly appreciated. So if you want to check out the build videos that come out earlier over there, head over to the Patreon. Otherwise, check all the links below. The Twitter, the twitch.tv/JebroUni. That's where I am 5 days a week. You'll be able to watch me playing Guild Wars 2 PvP live. Other games like Elder Scrolls Online, Wolcen I'm playing at the moment. Loads of other games. And see how you do. This has been a 2v2 Core Guardian hammer build. Honor thy hammer. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.